What's up, everybody? It's Q from Retro Q Gaming, and there was an article on Kotaku the other day, and they were talking about the best Nintendo GameCube games, and I figured this would be one on my list, so I decided to go back and relive Phantasy Star Online on the GameCube, episodes 1 and 2. So, wow, that that theme music. That brings back many, many memories. Wow, right in the fields. That's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Now, single... Oh, wow. Okay. So, apparently, I don't even remember... That just goes to show... Oh, wait a minute. Episode 1. Oh, yeah, the difficulties. Ultimate. Now, it just goes to show that... way back in the day, like throughout all different stages of my life, eventually I was going through all the different characters, and you know, I'd use different names during different periods of my life, and I didn't realize this was so far back that it was in there. So we'll jump on. Let's see. I have to figure out all the controls again first. So okay. Okay, while I'm figuring all this out, I actually used to be in around this level anyway. I got screwed back in the day. There was a system where when you were playing online and all, sometimes your game would freeze when you're loading into a new area and all that kind of shit. So, actually I'm just going to start looking through all these. Wow, I don't even remember how I got all this crap. But I do have a choo-choo mag. I do remember that. Confuse, freeze. Oh yeah, I had like a beast setup so that I wouldn't get hit by any of the really crippling effects. Just like half the rest of the stuff I don't understand, or I don't even remember. Was accuracy important? I don't know. I can't even remember. It's just so many feels. So let's see. We go through everything else. Items. I could have sworn I used that other one at the top, but this is the one I have now. Gold Mila? Yeah, I can't even remember how to pronounce it. So, there we go. I remember getting that bazooka. I remember getting the rocket launcher, or bazooka, whatever you want to call it, back in the day. Choo Choo, there it is. Choo Choo is epic mag. Epic mag is epic. So, what we got in here? Oh, Tekker. Oh, okay, he was the guy to... The rest of those are shops, I do remember that. the movement feels a little bit archaic, but yeah, there was a kind of a glitch back in the day that when you take it online, you could crash. Actually, hang on, we'll look through here first before I get into that. We're gonna run one entire level-ish kind of thing, like one entire dungeon. I'm gonna run whatever the first one was. I don't even remember. I know it's a forest of some sort, but I don't remember the exact name of it or anything like that. So many different weapons and stuff. I managed to get all of these, like almost all of these online. Now, because there's the GameCube one, this was also rife with duping and shit like that. So that is how many people just gave me these to join, and they'd see me and they wouldn't be happy with the weapon I'd have or some shit, or I'd be looking for a weapon in particular and they'd just give me a weapon or give me a better one. They'd dupe it or whatever and just do that. I'm like, oh, fair enough. Back then, you know, I didn't really care. So just all these weapons, just seeing them is crazy. Buster swords, I don't want to use that. God, I don't even remember all of these. I do remember there was like a big like Sephiroth style sword, and I managed to get one online, and I don't know if I still have it. Oh, where are these ones red? I don't even remember. But I remember I managed to get one online, and I gave it to a friend of mine in real life. We were playing local multiplayer, and he loved it, and I said, here, you can have it. I know you're mad about this. Oh, Choo Choo, interesting. Oh, I think I remember that one. I think it just shoots off Choo Choos the entire time. Oh god, oh wow. Suzaku, Genbu, Byakko, and Siryu. That actually means more to me nowadays, because those were 4 Sky Gods when I moved on to Final Fantasy 11 online at a later point after I'd played this. But yeah, that makes... I know it's all from like, ancient lore and mythology, but it's nice to see. I forgot about these mags. The Sega Saturn mag, Sega Master System mag. I think the Mark III mag was like the 3DX or the 32X or the 3DO mag or something. I can't remember. This is actually how I found that the Sega Mega Drive was actually called a Genesis in the US. I never knew that until I played this, because if I remember right, the Mega Drive mag is called a Genesis, and I was like, why is this called Genesis? But like everything else, like the Dreamcast mag and the Saturn mag, why are they all proper, but the other one is different? And then I eventually found it out. So see, forest one, this is what we're going to do. I know this is a forest, it's of some sort. I do know, and I do remember, well, I only remembered since the difficulty part came up. God, the controls. But yeah, once you get to ultimate, like when you're playing normal, hard, and very hard, all the enemies look the same and all that kind of shit. But once you get to ultimate, everything looks different. All the enemies look different, and just, well, it's not everything, I suppose. It's really just the enemies that look different. I can't remember if is fire spell going off properly. Heal is ice. Maybe I have to have a target or something for it, but I don't remember. But anyway, I got a little bit distracted from something I was saying earlier. There was a glitch where you could go, or that would sometimes happen when you go online, and sometimes when you were loading into a game from a lobby, your game could freeze. And this was commonly called a frozen screen of death, or an FSOD. And there was also another version of it, where when you were loading into a game, or you were loading into a game world, I suppose, after coming from a lobby. Oh, a rare. There's loads of memes about rares. But anyway, the more extreme version of it, the frozen screen one, was actually called an FSODX. So it's a frozen screen of death extreme. And the reason why it was called frozen screen of death extreme was because it was essentially an extreme version of the frozen screen of death. It was when you got the standard FSOD during a save, an actual save game. I can't even remember all this. So naturally it would freeze up during your access to your memory card, and it would completely erase your file. Wait a minute, I can't even remember. Shortcuts? I think I remember stealing a bunch of these online from other people that had them. Need photon drops. I don't even remember what that is. Symbol chat. I think these are the ones I stole from people. Oh, wow. Yep, I remember stealing these. Wow, what was I thinking? This was a long time ago. No, that's not it. There's nothing good in there. Wow, I think that no PS2 one was brilliant. The other one was just very childish, as expected, but long time ago. But yes, I got the frozen screen of death extreme, and my memory card had to be wiped, or at least my Phantasy Star save file had to be wiped, and I was very, very pissed off about that. One thing I do remember about it, I was in the level 120s somewhere in there, but the thing that really, really annoyed me was I had just got high. I remember I was playing offline and I just got high enough to get access to a new quest I wanted to do online, and I went and I finally hit the level I needed, and I went to log online, and that's when it happened. I can't remember Rappies. I can't remember if Rappies were usually secret enemies, or if that was just in Phantasy Star universe. Anyway, I'm not feeling this Nug Bazooka. It's really slow and really... yeah. I do know it's good for groups of enemies, or some of the bosses, because they've got multiple areas to hit. But other than that, it's pretty much all the... it's pretty much just switching back to the Gilmelas, or whatever, however it's pronounced, I can't even remember. But yeah, that's it. I lost like 120 levels or so of character, and I had to start from scratch, and apparently I got to level 128 before I stopped. Could be. I think the level cap on this was 200. I can't remember. It's been forever. This may seem really slow and archaic to some people, but this was some high-tech shit back in the day. And not to mention that it could be played online. and that was just, you could jump into a lobby of a total of 4 people, including yourself, and it was crazy. Like, being able to go and play a game like this online with other people is mind blowing. Now I realize this is originally a Dreamcast game, and I never got to play it at first on the Dreamcast, simply because it was nearly impossible to find Dreamcast games around here, and the only ones you really could find were stuff with big names on them, like say Sonic, and just a couple of other random games. Sonic, Resident Evil, House of the Dead was really popular at the time, like, from the arcade series, so that managed to get around. But Phantasy Star was not so much. One of my friends found it, but he had found it and like traded it in or got rid of it or something just before I knew him, and it was in around the Dreamcast days where I first got to know him, and by then it was too late. He'd already got rid of it, so I couldn't get a limit off him or anything like that. But it's still one. I remember, because of all that and the fact that I'd never found it absolutely anywhere, and I wanted to play it so much. And then when I found out eventually there was a port coming to the GameCube, I was like, yeah, I have to get on this. And luckily I did. When it released on the GameCube, it had episodes 1 and 2, so you got access to all the higher level weapons and the more fancy upgraded stuff from episode 2, as well as all the new areas and all that shit. So it was epic. Epic is all I can say. I put so much time into this back in the day, online, offline. I mean, over here in Europe, the Dreamcast actually had a 33.3K modem, so naturally it was very, very slow. And like I said, I never personally played this on the Dreamcast at first, so I couldn't comment on how that was online. I did use the Dreamcast online. I remember playing Choo Choo Rocket and 1 or 2 other things that I can't remember off the top of my head. But I think in the US, the Dreamcast actually had like a broadband modem or something like that, because broadband was more popular and more widespread over there at the time, and over here it just wasn't. We didn't even have broadband back then. And when I was playing the GameCube version, since the GameCube doesn't actually have a built-in modem, but you could buy a 56K modem, or you could buy a broadband modem. At the time when it first released, I had to get the 56K modem because 1, we had 56K, and 2, we didn't have broadband, and there was none of them available at the time. And eventually, like I think maybe 6 months later, or whenever it was, possibly even less, the broadband modem became available, and I had broadband at that point. Now I had really slow broadband. It was like 512 KB down. That was the best you could get here at the time, so you know, it worked. And I got that, and I remember I hadn't played Phantasy Star in a while, and maybe like a month or 2, and I was like, yeah, I got a nice one. I saw the broadband modem while I was in a place that used to be called Games World in Dublin. They basically got bought out by GameStop, so every Games World became a GameStop. But I remember racing home, going online, signing up for my hunter's license again, just renewing it, and went online, and I loved it, and I was back hooked again for a while. It was glorious. I think this thing is it. I remember using. I think I used the bazooka on those because it could hit the big thing and all the small ones at the same time. I think. I can't remember. It's been so long. I think my inventory's full actually. Yeah, I'm trying to pick them up, but I'm just shooting because my inventory's full. So it's so many good memories though. But I really hope eventually. I know this is kind of off topic, but just even playing this again now and thinking back to all the memories and all I put in it, I really hope that Phantasy Star Online 2 gets localized at some point. They said that they were going to do it, but that was like 2 or 3 years ago, so we'll see how that winds up. But just playing this, it just makes me ache for the days of yore, and how much better absolutely everything was. I know for people out there watching this, chances are if you're watching this, you already know about Phantasy Star, you've already played it, and this will just tug on your feels and hit you right into nostalgia. But for anyone who's watching this who hasn't seen it, this, I know I've said it already in the video, but this was actually pretty advanced and pretty modern and high tech in back in the day when it actually released. I can't remember what that warp is. I think that's a warp back out to the town. I can't remember, but yeah. Hopefully, I know Phantasy Star Online 2 has been out for like 2 or 3 years at this point in Japan, and I know you can patch it and get the fan. No, that's what was already out here. I know you can get the fan translation, and you can use VPN servers and all services and all just to play on the Japanese servers, but it's more effort than I'm willing to go through, and I'd rather just wait and hope for the actual thing. So since I noticed it said forest as I was jumping in there, it's actually level 2 of the place. So I do remember the boss of this thing. He's like a fire dragon in a big cave. And I do remember that I switched to my bazooka to kick his ass, because he's got multiple hit points, so you can do multiple things of damage to him at once anyway. The camera system does feel really archaic though. But I mean, there's ways to work around it. I mean, you can see it here. I just press in the L button just to center the camera behind myself. But it feels really weird when you think about it, because nowadays, when you pick up any game or any game on a platform with 2 controllers, or not 2 controllers, 2 sticks, naturally the right stick is usually, almost always, camera rotation and camera control. Even though the GameCube technically does have 2 sticks with the C stick and all, it's not the case for Phantasy Star. Now I think that's probably because of the controls on the original Dreamcast. It wasn't programmed in with that properly, because it only had one stick, and back then this kind of stuff was kind of lazy. Whoa, I don't remember these, and I knocked him out of my... But yeah, if you're familiar with Phantasy Star Online, you'd probably be familiar with Phantasy Star Universe as well. It's also an MMO that came out on PS2, 360 and PC. Now, it was a good few years later, but I remember being really psyched for it, really hyped up, and I ended up playing it for a few years, and it was really enjoyable for a good while. That's pretty much it. The thing that got really annoying really fast was that the Xbox 360 had their own separate servers. So the PS2 and PC shared servers. That wasn't really a problem. I mean, they shared servers and all weren't the issue, but it was the fact that the European and American server, the European and American Xbox 360 server were all one, and there was the Japanese Xbox 360 server. I realized that's for like all 200 people that had an Xbox 360 over there. But the main thing is the people who were playing on the Japanese 360 server were about 6 months ahead of us. So what would happen was content they'd already be doing now, we'd get about 6 months later, which was really annoying. So it was still a decent game, and it was decently playable and enjoyable online. Eventually kind of got burned out on it. But even after the first expansion pack, which was Ambition of the Illuminous, I think. It's been a while, but one thing I will say about Phantasy Star is I met some really good friends, Phantasy Star Universes, I met some really good friends on there. And I was actually pretty famous for one point. I was the first person on the English-speaking Xbox 360 servers with a level 10 S-rank rifle, the Black Bull. I was the very first person to have one of those, and that got me fairly popular for a while until more of them started coming, and then there was the 11-star Rattlesnake added. So I rode that fame pretty well, and most people had positive things to say about me. You know, usually you have people who is like, they have the only weapon and all that stuff, and they're notorious arseholes. I'd always see posts on the forum and the Phantasy Star Universe forum and shit like that. And basically the best way I can describe it is that when people would talk to me and they'd usually ask me about the weapon or ask me if they could see it or whatever, I was like, yeah, that's cool, I'll show you, no problem. And they'd usually have pretty positive feedback on it. I was like, oh, I just ran into I think my character's name was Qbot. And people was like, oh yeah, I just ran into Qbot with his Black Bull earlier on. He's a pretty cool guy. I talked to him for a few minutes. He's so chill and down to earth. And I was like, yeah, whatever, that's cool. And I can dig that. So yeah, I kind of rode that fame for a good while, and I enjoyed it. And my group was fairly popular, some of them for good reasons, some of them for bad reasons. One of them got found out for being like the... Now, I didn't realize this at the time until it was all exposed by whoever actually found it out. But one of the guys was like the first major Meseta buyer. Oh, whoa, what am I doing? Zook? No, I'm full on inventory. I'm just dropping the crap here, since, you know, rares. But yeah, one of my guys got figured out as the first giant Meseta buyer for like real money and shit. And like I said, I didn't realize it at the time until it was actually pointed out and all that stuff. And because someone made a big post on the forums about this guy's eBay username trying to buy Meseta and all this crap, and I was like, wait a minute, I know this guy's forum name on the Phantasy Star forum, and I know this guy's gamer tag and his character's name. I was like, wait a minute, is this you? And whoa, this guy's kicking my ass. Hang on, I gotta... Oh shit. Right, items. Crap. Which one is... Okay, that's health. Which one is it... I'm gonna go with Saul. Okay, yeah. I could... Oh, for fuck's sake. I couldn't remember which one was... which one cured, like, paralysis and all status ailments and stuff. This guy is whooping me around. Come on. Okay. Oh, Jesus, he's dead. That was... Oh, that's a cure spell, okay. That was... Jesus, that was close. It just goes to show that even when you're a beast, when you're a decade out of practice, it begins to show. But anyway, enough about Phantasy Star Universe, and let's get back to Phantasy Star Online. I mean, I'm sure most of you, if you've played this game, or I know what. I can't access this. Oh, see, here is a perfect example of the camera screwing me over with no controls. And I just pressed left. I was going to say left trigger. I just pressed L, and it just got worse there for a second. So that did not help, and I'm getting countered to shit. Right, there we go. Froze him. Get in a better position. Kick some ass. But yeah, I'm sure many of you also have badass experiences with Phantasy Star Universe, or Phantasy Star Online even, from way back in the day, be it on the Dreamcast, be it on the GameCube like myself, or they also ported this exact version to the Xbox, and it was used on Xbox Live. I hear it was still pretty good on there, but I did hear that the community wasn't as good compared to the GameCube version. I don't know if that's true or not. I just remember hearing it back in the day and all this. And here's more Rappies. I don't remember Rappies that were like they were a staple enemy of Phantasy Star, but the reason why I can't remember is, one, I haven't played this in so long, and two, in Phantasy Star Universe, Rappies were rare enemies. I mean, when you went into a map, you'd get like one of several different spawn configurations, and one of them would eventually pop. If you got it, it would be rare, but you would get the spawn configuration that would give the rare enemies, which were usually Rappies. And they would always, well, almost always drop with a high percentage, even, of dropping rares and shit like that. So I can't remember if it was in this that they were like that as well, or they were just regular enemies. I don't remember. Okay, that one was a lot easier. But oh my god, I wish the servers for this were still up. I know there's another variant of it on PC that launched a while after this. It's called Phantasy Star Online Blue Burst. I think I played it once for, God, I don't know, I think I played it for like an hour, if even, and it was really confusing and complicated and all to get into back in the day. Now, that was mainly partially to PC issues, but yeah, we won't worry about all that. But it just makes me want either the servers for this back up, or just Phantasy Star Online 2 will give me so much enjoyment. I think the boss is in here, so I'm going to swap to my bazooka, simply because this will kick his ass in multiple parts at once. Oh, this is not the boss. Okay, this works well anyway. I can hit multiple enemies, multiple little bees at once. I remember there being an XP bar. I know it's probably in the options somewhere, but or not the options, the menu. But I could have sworn there was one actually out on the screen. I can't fully remember either. But if you see on the top left, there's the yellow circle that's filling up with like 83 right now. I can't even remember what that does. I'd have to... We'll find out anyway if it hits 100. I need to use... Oh yeah, there we go. Oh, what the hell? I didn't even realize it was Rappy there. I just accidentally hit it. Oh, come on, get a shot off. I realized I could use the regular shot to not get the charge up, but... Well, remember this when you could actually bind such few things to your keybinds or your controller. And it's just... and it was still cutting edge. It's so enjoyable. In essence, though, when you think about it, it really was the starter of... I won't say MMOs because obviously MMOs were around before this, but it really was a starter for console variants of them. And it worked out really well, and it just came out as... I know because it was obviously popular enough on the Dreamcast that it got ported to the GameCube and the Xbox. And it really feels like it was a good jumping off point, and it had a big future influence to it. Especially for games when you look at stuff like Borderlands and Destiny, considering that they're not as fully MMO, just like Phantasy Star wasn't as fully MMO, but it was still the same style and influence. But at the same time, like those games, it also feels like almost like a dungeon crawler, or just a grind fest of a game. But it was enjoyable, so that was the main thing. And the fact that, like most of those games, well, not so much Borderlands, but when you went into, say, a raid, like we're just using Destiny as an example, when you went into a raid or a strike or something like that, you went in with different people, and their playstyles would usually be different. And because of that, you generally have a different experience based on standard. You know, you'd have the standard strike or whatever you want to call it, and you'd have a different experience based on people's playstyles and all that stuff. So now this is definitely the boss. You can see it over on the edge there. So this is some big fire dragon in a fire cave, in a volcano or something like that. I remember I used to be able to wreck him. Okay, apparently it's oh, okay, yeah. Now I remember, because all the enemies on ultimate difficulty are different. Yeah, this affects him as well. So now I should be able to whoop his ass if I can hit him. Yeah, see that? Oh, smacked him. Oh, there we go. There's the specials. So that was a 100% thing. Okay, that sucked ass. I'm better off just laying into him at this point. But yeah, this is why I chose the bazooka. You can see it's hitting multiple areas at once. Fucking destroying him. I could have sworn that those super things would have been more useful. Oh well. I can still hit this guy even if I can't aim up properly. Retro cameras and all that, you know how it is. Oh yeah. We came. We saw. We kicked his ass. Now he drops loads of loots. Fat loots. PHATLEWTZ. Fat loots. Okay. I'm pretty sure he drops more than this. Pretty sure there's more. Wow. You can see the stuff rendering in good old school consoles. Disgrimarda. That's a spell of some sort. Just playing this again is it's so great. Just to see where it all started, old school things. Like so much time put into this game. This and Phantasy Star Online Episode 2. Since they were both on the same disc and you could use your character in both of them. Everything transferred over just fine. I don't know how that worked on a Dreamcast. I'm sure since it was all on a memory card, it would all work that way. But I don't know how it would work if you tried to, say, load up Episode 1 while you had gear and stuff like that only dropped in Episode 2. So I'm not even sure how that worked. Were there patches on the Dreamcast? I don't think there were patches on the Dreamcast. Maybe there was like a compatibility download or something like that that you could get from the. Oh, what was the online system called on? I think it was the Dream Arena. Yeah, I think it was the Sega Dream Arena. So yeah, you could get whatever from. Maybe you could get a compatibility thing from the Dream Arena and save it and just put it onto there. And these guys are all just shops. Yeah, I remember this. I'm just gonna sell all my crap. I will keep that power material though, I think. And I'm gonna keep them just to be safe. Not that I'm expecting them to sell anything good here, but I mean all my stuff is high level, high grinded, yellow and red stuff. So put on like these on just to make sure. So many feels, so much at the same time. I mean, I forgot so much to do with this game. It's unfortunate and sad, basically, that something like this would just fall into the wayside. I mean, I haven't turned this game on in God, I don't know how long since I played it last on the one I mentioned earlier when I got the broadband modem a couple of months after, and you know, that was the last time I played this. No, none of these are going to be anywhere near as good as my God level ones. Yeah, so that's basically it. This has been like a little bit of a... Oh, there we go, 2 next level. Yeah. Okay, so this has basically been a stroll down memory lane. It's been definitely a very fun one, at least, anyway. I've certainly enjoyed it. I mean, it looks to be... It's a little over half an hour from when I turned it on. Played a bit more than I expected because I kind of took too long, but other than that was about it. So let me know your experience with Phantasy Star Online on any platform, any shape or form, in the comment section below. Thank you for watching. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. You can follow me on Twitter, details in the description below. Thank you for watching once again. I'll see you in the rest of the videos in my channel.